Okay, today on Psychopath Presents, this would be an install of a stereo into a 2004 Pontiac Sunfire, which would be I believe it's called a pumpkin system. We have a special guest today who would be Mark Zubkovich. So okay, Mark, how was it you pulled the dash off?
Take out two bolts, one here and one down here. To get at this one, it's easiest to lift this tab and get it out of the way, and that allows you to swing your glove compartment all the way down. You can get at this second bolt easy, and then it just slides right out.
Just like that. From there, you obviously have 3 screws.
One here and 2 on this side, and then the radio just literally pulls straight out.
You want to hold the plugs up? Yeah.
Disconnect the plug, disconnect the antenna lead, and the radio comes right out.
Okay, and there's Mark. And from there we will take him over to the stereo and find out what he did with the stereo. I do believe he picked up the plug from Walmart. Did it have all of the plugs in the or all the wires in the right place?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It was a simple matter of connecting all the light colored wires together, and it plugs right in, starts right up.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, here's the stereo.
So this stereo I picked up off of eBay. It was a Chinese car stereo. Some have DVD players in them. This one does not. It's an Android radio, and the build quality is actually incredible. The wiring on it, they use better wiring than the install kit I got from Walmart. The install kit specifically needs this chime box in order to get it to run properly. But that I believe is specific to Sunfires and Cavaliers, and I don't believe too many other people need to worry about it. The wiring is standard color coded, and it's a direct wire to the wires from the stereo. When I plugged it in, it started right up and ran fine.
So what kind of operating system does it have on it?
It's an Android operating system. I believe it's version 5.5, but I'm not positive.
5.5. Okay, and obviously you didn't use the RCAs.
No.
No, you're using...
I don't have any amps, and that would... it's an older car. I don't want to put the amps in. It's too much of an expense at the moment.
Okay, so you're just doing a direct connect.
That's correct. Which
is obviously your basic wires. These ones you don't need. This one you obviously don't need. Any of you that know anything about car stereos, you got your speakers, your 2 whites, your 2 grays, your 2 purples, and your 2 greens, which leaves you 3 wires. Your yellow, which should be your positive, your black, which is your negative, and your red, which is your
key on,
which is your key on. Okay, so for those of you who don't quite understand, you need the yellow for things like keeping the time on the clock, keeping the settings, keeping your EQ settings. You disconnect that, then every time you turn your stereo on, you're going to have to reset everything. So you're going to want a constant power source for that. Now this makes it easy with, as Mark was saying, with the plug, because all the wires are already in the right place on the back of the plug. Right, as you can see on the back of the plug, the wires are all color coded. You just run them and connect them, and away you go. So from here, I assume you've already done a basic run?
Yes, I have. I didn't solder any of the connections. I don't want it to be permanent yet. If I screwed up anything, I wanted it to be easy to take apart. All the functions work, all the wires are in the right place, all the speakers are as they're supposed to be, and now I will solder all the wires and all the connections, make it permanent, double check again that everything's the way it's supposed to be, and then screw it into the dash and make it permanent.
Okay, so you hear that? Just like when I installed the amp, you do a temporary hookup first, make sure everything works and that everything's in the right place and you don't got any smoke coming, because smoke is a bad thing. And then once you know everything works beautifully, you're not losing any of your settings, then you start to solder and hardwire, etc. Now make sure you do all the fine, funky little things, like as you see they used here. The heat shrink is always the best method. You can use plugs and other connectors. Oops. But I usually suggest actually twisting the wire, soldering it, and actually heat shrinking it. Do it properly the first time, make it nice, neat, and tidy, and then you can tape everything off in sections. Like your speakers, you tape them off together as one. Your power wires, tape them off together as one. And then if ever you have to access your deck, it's very easily taken care of. Now, one last thing we probably didn't show you. I'll take you over to the car really quick. Mark did show me this. He had to do a slight modification, but actually I think he did quite a good job right in there. He just had to cut a little bit into the corners. But he says once he puts the deck in, it actually looks pretty good, and he's not overly worried about it because, as he said, this is an older car. So it's a little bit of a shoehorn, but it does fit. Which brings me to the question, what do you know what size screen this is?
7-inch.
It's a 7-inch screen. Okay, so there you go. It's an Android. The orange, which you picked up off of eBay for Canadian, it was what?
Called the pumpkin.
Called the pumpkin, sorry. There we go. Gave you my hands shake way too much. Okay, which you picked off of eBay for about 250 bucks Canadian. Plus your install kit. Okay, if you feel more comfortable getting someone else to do it, then so be it. This is just a general information video. We'll come back after as he's installing it, once all the soldering's done, and we'll take it from there. Everything's installed. Need powering up now. Bam, it's running. Now, what we didn't show you is he just brought it up to the car. He plugged it in. There's his GPS antenna. He hasn't decided where he's going to put it yet. He's just running it out through the bottom temporarily. He also has a couple of USB plugs there, which he ran out through the bottom temporarily. Microphone, which is right here. So, just for the purpose of the video, showing you the finished product. Okay, very simple, straightforward, actually very easy to do on this 2004 Sunfire. Okay, thank you very much, Mark, and we will catch you later. Ciao. Next time, we are going to be installing one of these. Comes with 3M tape, but I'm going to be using a glue gun. And we are also going to be installing one of these, which is red LED in my wheel wells. Next time on Psychopath Presents. Ciao.